Well, I survived my first full distance triathlon and the brutal summer of training leading up to it. And I owe it all to Rouvy for challenging me to do the Challenge Almere Amsterdam race, because if they hadn't, I probably would have never known the pleasure. Before I get into the details of the race, I really want to apologize to everybody, because for the past few months, I have been a complete, lost, and absent-minded total flake when it came to absolutely everything in my life. But I knew if I kept pushing forward, eventually September 10th would come and go, and this would all just be a memory. And that's what happened. Race day finally came. And despite my lack of love for the swim, because, it's the discipline that I have the most potential to die in, I was able to stay cool and calm as I was bobbing up and down at the floating start with hundreds of men and women surrounding me for this mass start. And then the gun went off. And basically, it was 2.4 miles of me getting hit in the face and picking seaweed off my goggles so I could see where I was going. Ugh, it wasn't pleasant. And I even picked out seaweed out of my hair the next day after the race. Ugh. Ugh. I got it done, and I didn't die. I had actually given myself 90 minutes to get the swim done because I wasn't really sure what to expect. And I finished it in 84 minutes, so I'm okay with that. And then it was time to get on the bike, my favorite. Now, I've been pretty silent about the fact that I've been fighting a hip injury the past summer because I figured I would just deal with it after the race was over. I made it to mile 15 before the pain set in. That's when I realized that the next 97 miles is going to be a tough mental game. There were times when I would look down on this super flat course and see that I was only averaging 11 miles per hour. So it was a heartbreaking 6 hours and 43 minutes on the bike. But I got it done. And then I hobbled through T2 and sat down on the chair to put on my run shoes. And I looked at the other girl in the tent with me and I was like, do we really have to run a marathon now? That can't be real. But I got my shoes on, and as soon as I got out of the tent, I actually felt like a whole new woman. And honestly, I think the Challenge Almere Amsterdam marathon course is the best marathon course in the world. And I know I've never done another one, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but the 6 loops around the lake with the amazing volunteers, after the first loop, I really felt like they were out there specifically to cheer me on and support me. So I had fun every minute of the run. So I'm pretty excited. That was my first marathon experience. I decided to take it really easy because I wasn't sure what to expect. So I was like, okay, I'm going to walk through all the aid stations, make sure I eat and drink enough, make sure I'm fueled up. And I forced myself to run outside of all the aid stations. So I think for the race, I averaged actually a 10-minute mile pace until I got to about mile 20 through 25. My pace slowed down about a minute, but the last mile, I was able to pick it back up and finish strong as I danced across the finish line with a smile. So I got it done, and I'm so glad that's over. So will I do another one? Not really sure. But I do know I'm not going to be thinking about one for at least a year, because my goals for now are to actually recover my body, make sure I'm not living in a constant state of soreness. And when I do decide to get back to training, I'm going to have a stronger focus on recovery work and strength training. So for now, I think my next challenge, though, will be a marathon, because I'm really excited that was my favorite part of the race, because I've come a long way. I used to not like running that much, and I did an entire marathon and enjoyed every moment of it. Imagine what I could do when I don't have to ride my bike 112 miles before I run a marathon. So I kind of want to go out there with a focus on running, see if I can qualify for Boston. So I think that's my next challenge. And I want to get back to making YouTube videos, because even though I was on YouTube on a different channel, I kind of missed this, doing my own thing. So I'm back because I don't have to wake up at 4:30 every morning to train anymore. Yay!